I think we're ready to go.
All right.
I can figure out how to turn off that awesome music. There we go.
That
All
was
right.
awesome.
Thought I'd try something new and start it so when we actually came on, there'd be a few people watching.
All right. Let's do it.
Sort of worked. Yeah.
Big Friday night. We got a carryover. Lots to look forward to.
Yeah. Love it. Friday's alive, as Tony Callow says.
Yeah. Does he own that catchphrase?
He must. He leans on it quite a bit.
Yeah. He gets it. I love Tony because he just gets into stuff. And I don't know. I like his style. I think it's great for night racing and Turfway. And
Yep.
I love how he explains stuff. And then if he's like kind of gets it wrong, he explains it. It's just kind of fun. It's like he takes the seriousness of the announcer gig that a lot of other announcers have or think they're supposed to have. He just kind of takes that away and talks to you, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's one of the few I would say, and not. I don't say this as if anyone should be doing it, or I mean everyone, but it fits his style and personality. But he'll give a little like play-by-play analysis as the race is going on.
Yeah,
And I know that doesn't suit everyone's way of calling a race, but it feels organic and fits him and part of the enjoyment.
yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say. He does kind of treat it a little bit more of a play-by-play than a race call,
Right.
in a way. But yeah, I mean, he tells you what he sees.
Well, what are you seeing here in this opener?
I was all about the one. I think that the price is going to drop, and I was looking at some doubles 1 to the 7-8, which are not crazy great, but yeah, they're like $14 each.
Mm-hmm.
2 13 to 1s.
Yeah,
Put them together, you
the
get
8 in the
6.
next looks tough for sure.
Who does?
The 8 in the next.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we'll talk about the carryover later, but thought that it, just going that tight with only one with 7-8 to start the pick 5, I thought that I might take a shot here with the pick 5 because that's pretty narrow from a starting perspective.
Right.
What about you?
Well, when I was handicapping, I hadn't the 6 wasn't among the early scratches, and so I wouldn't say back to the drawing board here, but with that horse out now, the 1, the favorite. I am going to look at the pick 5 just because I'm pretty narrow. The next 3 legs, as we can see on the grid here.
The grid. All right.
Okay. That is not the right grid. Sorry about that. There we go. It's like, wait a minute. So yeah, I lost the 6. Pretty deep in the B column. So I don't know. I think the next 2 horses I'm going to use are favorites. So even though the 1 is an A, I kind of feel like as the chalk, obviously if the 8 were to win, that would expand things 3 or 5 for that matter. So I'm going to probably play around with them. And if I can't make it work for a pick 5, maybe there's a double. And that's a typo in race 2. I like the 8, not the 9.
Okay.
One thing I thought was interesting, this is a dirt sprint, but the dirt route is pretty much the same. I went back a month on both of these, and I know we talked earlier in the meet that the outside positions weren't terrible, and still not bad here. I mean, they're winning. It's not like it's an X, but clearly inside doing well, 48%, and then very similar with the dirt routes. Running style,
you're saying even. Dirt, but it's synthetic.
Yeah,
right?
Synthetic. I'm sorry. Main track.
Yeah.
Main track. But the running style is pretty agnostic, but I thought it was interesting that, in the last month, it seems to be a little shift where I really didn't mind the outside at all and still wouldn't if I liked the horse. But based on those numbers, if you're kind of between 2 and the inside might be a little longer price, the track trends tool gives me a little confidence to go inside.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it has been leaning a little bit that way. Yeah, I was kind of against the chalk in races 3 and 4, so kind of see how that goes. Seems like you could close this last week and a half, but other than when did the rain pour down? Wednesday night.
Yeah, and even then there were a few down the crown of the track. And I shouldn't say a few, but there's 2 winners I know for sure. But
yeah,
I know in one of those they went fast too, so that makes sense. But we're already going in the gate, so race 1 about to jump, and I ended up just betting the 2 to win. I felt like it was a pretty competitive race, and just didn't feel like going deep against the 1 and then being out of a pick 5, and certainly didn't want to be deep and protect with the favorite. Just didn't feel like a good use of capital. So we'll see what the pick 4 brings, but I bet the 2 to win.
Okay. I think this 1, the odds are going to drop here.
Excuse me.
As we've seen, but we'll see. Or they might.
Here you go.
2 to 1.
Got an action bet in at the bell.
All right. There you go.
I figured if it came 5-8 over 2, I can't not have it. So, or I should say 5-8 over 2.
Friday's Live almost underway.
Yes, it is. I didn't. Our mugs are over the screen. I wonder what the pick 5 pool was.
I can tell you right now. 136 and counting.
All right.
Yeah. Pretty strong.
No, I lost our. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Man, I'm terrible at this.
Now we're bouncing around. There we go.
Sorry to the viewers. Oh, didn't have the chat on. I was juggling all the.
Yeah, 8 and 10 seem to be going at it pretty decently. That's a spread out field. I like my 1, but I don't know that he wants to be that close to this pace. 22 and a half. It's quick. Where's your 2? I mean, yeah, your 2. His Chiclet's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to not get stopped on the rail, but he's moving.
Yeah, but this field is going to stop. So Moncada's on the 1 here. The question is, what did he save?
Well, if I get the here, it could be interesting. They're running away from him.
No, I mean, the 2's going to have horse.
Oh.
Yeah, nice call, this 2. I think he just got that 1 too close to this pace. I mean, 22 and a half is a fast pace. Nice.
All right.
I was
I'll take it.
Yeah. The 1 in his sprint 2 back, he was 5th by 2, but off of a really slow pace. And I thought he'd be further back than that. I definitely didn't want him sitting in 3rd or 4th.
There we go.
Got all kinds of screens.
Hometown hero.
Yep.
All right. Good to be on the board.
On the board. All right. So what did you get started there?
A win bet.
All right. Let's 7 to 1.
Yeah.
That. And that was definitely a closer there.
Yes. Yeah, KG Corrales with I mean, I guess like you said, he sensed things were going quick, and as long as they didn't stop on the rail, he was going to have clear sailing.
Yeah.
For sure. I am definitely. I had mentioned I did a 5-8 over 2. I did not like key box or anything. That would have been a bad beat on the wire there. So happy with the win bet only.
Good. All right, well, that's a good start. 9 more to go.
Pick 5 money.
That's right.
Late pick 5 money.
Early pick 4 money.
Or there you go.
All right, and so you put together a bet share for us for the late pick 5 carryovers. I'm going to pop that in.
That's right.
into the HRN account here, and we can ship it around.
Yeah, let me know when. Yeah, send me the link.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, which is what you want. I have a hard time seeing how this thing doesn't pay $5,000. So,
That's all? Not 50?
well, at least
For
I mean,
Turfway, that's light.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't pay at all, and that's how we get the carryover.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's almost
even the last race. I mean, the fly in the ointment there is like on paper kind of too deep, but then I'll pull this up, but there's a 4-star horse at 15-1, and I mean that's like a total. You get live to a horse like that. I mean that could be like, the favorite might be 5,000 or 6,000, and a horse like that could be 50.
Yeah. In what, like the first time starter? Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, in race 10. So
You're talking about the 2?
yeah. Although I prefer the name on the 8.
Yeah.
But at 2 stars, we'll evaluate intro race at that point. But yeah, the 4-star just kind of felt like those are the ones that really blow it up.
Yeah.
So I mean, increase the cost of the ticket by 50%, or more accurately, I shaved elsewhere to get that one in there in a bet share friendly budget, but definitely wanted to use given the 4 stars.
And then just you're talking about our HRN first timer ratings, 4 stars. They win about 13% of the time and outperform their odds in the morning line. So that's good.
Yeah, and I haven't run the numbers for Turfway specifically, but this year the 4 and 5 star are positive ROI.
Nice.
So, yeah, just one of those, like, man, at that price and a pool like this, definitely wanted to use. Not, it's a pari-mutuel game, betting against each other, but there's also camaraderie, horse players and such.
Yeah.
I always feel a little vote of like, oh, you had a good pick there, when other horse players are like, how the heck did you come up with that horse? I mean,
yeah.
I had 1 and 2 as A's, so that was, I mean, definitely a function of, man, the 2 7-1, and almost 8. But yeah, it had, I mean, really, along with the 1, a good Ragozin sheet, and then another tool I like to use called Predictiform, which looks at kind of the early pace of how horses run, and there's some theories about form cycle and how a horse runs early and what that could mean next time out, even if the final finish isn't great. And the 2 had a look on there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would say if there was enough pace in there that that race could have set up for a closer, and you got several that were going out. The 3 was going out, the 8 was going out, the 10 was likely going out to lead. 7 really wasn't any good. He was like 40-1. So it's like once you start narrowing down, there wasn't that much left. I kind of got enamored with the 1 as sort of the best closer, but the 2 was a deeper closer and better closer that way. So once you start narrowing it down, yeah, that's how you can come up with those sometimes.
Man, and I have to say, live, I thought it was a lot closer than that for second. So that's a good lesson on and out the camera favoring the outside, I suppose.
Yeah. And you thought the 8 was a standout here in the second?
I did. I was kind of surprised. Is looking at the double pools, very close with the 7 Train and Trust. Now the current odds don't indicate that, But yeah, based on the double pull from race one, they're going to be tight. So, Irving's on the 7, so that always makes me nervous. He is riding absolute gangbusters along with Yamari, and we have the data to prove it.
On that replay, look at your 2. Oh, you just switched it, but
sorry.
He's almost off the screen. Yeah, he's in last there, and so he ends up flying by the whole field. So sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I mean, more than any other track, and I mean, I'm not a huge replay watcher, so I guess I don't want to speak too out of turn, but it just seems, and I think it's partly because you have the bigger fields. So, in a 6-horse field, it makes sense. Maybe one is the lone speed, whereas in a 12-horse field, someone else is going to want the lead.
Right.
So there's a lot of dynamics at play, but Gerardo made the right move, I guess, to go inside here. May have gotten squeezed otherwise, and got the dough. But yeah, he was, to use a phrase Joe Christofek loves, he was way out the back early.
Yeah.
And we were talking about jockeys because, Irving's on the 7 here, Train and Trust, and riding absolutely lights out at Turfway, as is Yar-Marie, which she had good impact numbers last year as well. Does well with the opportunity she's given. Irving, though, he's a little lower on the impact, but given the amount of mounts he's had and those kind of wins against the expected, he's, other than being on a favorite that you don't like, and I guess, in this case, like if Train and Trust is 3-1 and could do is as well, I'm not going to double the cost of my ticket just to use Irving. But in races where you're deep anyway, even if I didn't like his horse at 10 or 12-1, I just kind of feel like him and Yar-Marie are automatic uses if you're deep.
Yeah, anyway. The impact rating on those two, just huge. The way they're outperforming their odds, and that's really what that impact rating measures. And it's not necessarily the top jockeys by wins, which everybody sort of knows usually at most tracks, but
right,
we're going for the ROI, which is sort of what the impact measures. There we go. 2, and then when did the 6 scratch? Just pretty late.
Yeah, it definitely. I started putting horses on my grid around 5:30, so they would already been close to the first race, and he was out by then. So
okay,
wouldn't necessarily call it a late scratch, but definitely as of 4:30 was still in per Equibase.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Actually, do you have that jockey graphic? I just wanted to comment on something on that. For those of you that aren't familiar with our impact rating there, with Yar-Marie, let's say at top, where it says expected, based on the odds of the 88 starts that she's got, so she's 11-88, she would be expected to win only 6, and she's won 11. So the impact was measuring that she's outperformed her odds by 78%, which is pretty huge. So, and with Irving, it's about the same. And so that's what you're driving at is you want jocks that are moving their horses up, right? Not it's great to have winners, but that this is basically pointing out not maybe for Irving because he's got so many starts, or even Yar-Marie, but basically it's pointing out jocks that can get prices home. Right.
Yeah, and I would say, we see it with Irad and Flavian, sort of, not that they, they win plenty, but to me it helps identify too, okay, who's overbet even when they're on the best horses. And you got to pick your spots then. Even if you think a horse should be 3-2 and they're even money, that's a terrible bet, but you have to be cognizant you're even if your fair odds are correct, you're going to lose 40% of the time. So, but finding those situations, betting against an even money when you think they should be 3-2 is a great opportunity. It's just being aware that you're going to get beat a bunch. But and Arad and Flavian, I always like those are the go-tos because they're sort of I would think most people would identify as the two best. But at the same time, I mean, a lot of times when I see their stuff, their impact isn't that bad, knowing how much they're bet.
Yeah.
So I'll come with a better example next time we do this. I know there's a few upper echelon guys that just don't win as often as the public would like to, and
Right.
I wouldn't say Arad and Flavian are necessarily in that bucket.
Yeah. All right, and then so here we've got the doubles pointed pretty much almost equally to the 7, 8, 9.
I would say the 7's closer to the 8 than the 9.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the doubles right there, $36 to the 7, 35 to the 8, 42 to the 9. So all very close.
Yep. I
Not
don't
saying
like the 9 at all. I don't get that one. What am I missing?
Yeah, I didn't see the 9 at all.
Okay. So,
yeah, I was trying to make a case for a couple others, but mostly 7, 8 on top. The 13 I liked is a definite like superfecta play, just stretching out, and I'd say his mile on synthetic was probably better than the 2 sprints. So going back to this stretch out, maybe could hit the board at a big price there, 46 to 1.
46 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see that at all.
That's big.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought he'd be that high.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, could do. I mean, and I'm looking at Briss now. I was curious how they actually have could do as an E. This, I mean, he made the lead 2 back or 3 back, but pace rating wise, definitely should be in the mix. So, and then Train and Trust is a deep closer. So, I mean, assuming this holds up and the 7 and 9 are right there, I'm just going to plant my flag with the 8.
Okay. I like the 7 a lot, and I like the deep closer. Now he's going to be at the mercy of some pace with the 2-9 or 2-8-9. But I definitely want to have the 7, especially if he holds up at anywhere near 6 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be 6 to 1, is he?
And then the 5 I thought was a little interesting in the sense that I don't know, maybe it's not so interesting, but the dirt races were all right, and then his first race at Turfway, it says through head and lunge from the gate with no chance from that point. So it's kind of hard to use that race when the comment is literally saying don't use the race. Then he goes to the sprint, and it wasn't terrible, but I want to kind of see what he can do back here in a route. I don't know. Calumet bred.
Royalty.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's kind of hard to see them getting to the 7 and 8. Anybody else?
Yeah, John asked what's wrong with the 9, and I mean, in my mind, it's not necessarily what's wrong, although I see Caitlin picked on top. 8 to 1 line. I mean, even at that price, I was just kind of like, eh. And then, I mean, this horse is steamed.
Yeah.
And I didn't think the line was wrong. Like, it made sense to me, and I still didn't like. So the fact that this one's taking this kind of money, Caitlin likes. I mean, just going to have to beat me at a short price. I mean, the 2 races to date, granted, I'm looking at Brisnet, but Last Chance Louis didn't factor on Ragozin either. They're just not anywhere near what the 7 and 8 ran last time.
I mean, it looks like he may have dueled to some degree last time, and he was a mile and 16th, so he's turning back. So that's a good sign. My biggest issue with the 9 is I think he's going to have to run into the 2 and run Hellwig run. He's stretching out. He's, fairly close to the pace in his sprint races. So if the two show speed, with Gavin Ashton up, I think he'll show enough speed that the 9. Who do we have on the 9? Cedillo is going to either have to go with him too wide or go too fast to go past him. To me, there's too many scenarios where the 2-9 are fighting it out, or the 9 has to fly past him, and then he gets a bad pace on a track that we just saw a horse close from 14 lengths off.
Yeah.
So any of those scenarios, the 9 in my mind is completely toast. The one he's not is if the 2 doesn't break. So to your point on odds, 8-1 morning line is probably worth a play, because if the 2 doesn't break and they don't send the 2 and no one else goes with this 9, I think he's got a good shot to win. But I think that's a 20% scenario, and I don't want to bet on
Hernandez isn't going to watch the horse to his outside set an easy lead, is he?
Who's that?
On the 8, even in your scenario of the deuce.
That's fair. I mean, he's although I think the 9 was significantly faster last time. There's a lot of still other options that can happen, and once you start getting down to like that, pretty small options, I just can't get into this horse in 3-1.
Yeah. Well, I agree there. That's too short a price. I will say we had the trainer, the winner of the opener, was 0 for 11 going into this, and the trainer of the 8, Vicky Oliver, is maybe more known name than Tito Moreno in Kentucky. She's 0 for 28, which obviously not great, but she's capable of winning races, and actually has a big number second time Lasix with a pretty decent sample size. So it seems like things are conspiring in Could Do's favor. Unfortunately, 15-1 last time, and now you have to swallow the likely, if not favorite, certainly co-favorite, one of the others. But I'm going to take it. I think this is one of those horses. Just looking at speed figure wise, last out, if he had a designer name along with it, trainer, and Raphael's had a good meet, but maybe a known Kentucky rider, this would have been a clear, to me, 3-2 type horse. So I'll take the boost, the goose egg boost with Oliver.
The goose egg boost. Okay. I like it. And then what about the next race?
That
you're on the 2.
Race 3. I am on the 2. I know you said you were looking to beat the favorites, but Machado getting up, I see that as a positive on the drop in class. Do you see what the double is? That's where you kind of get in the precarious situation is.
The double, the 8 to the 2.
Yeah.
I can tell you now, it's not going to be much.
Right. No, here we go. It's up now.
$5.85.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. And Ravelli in the third leg, race 4. He's tough. Obviously, I don't want all 3 to win, so maybe the pick 4. At 5-2, it's like that's a win. So I'm eager to see where the 8 settles.
Okay.
But yeah, I have nothing clever in the next two.
Okay. What about the 5th? We got the maiden special.
Yeah, that's where the magic happens. Hopefully. Oops. We do have a 4-star, 8-1.
A potential theft.
Yeah. Kitten's Joy out of Inheritance.
Yeah, I was okay on that horse. I mean, I thought it was a use for sure, but
Right.
I didn't love it or anything.
I have no idea who Rogelio Labra is. He's 1 for 83. But I mean, this horse is getting blinkers. I mean, it's hard to know that a 1 for 83 trainer that means anything to him, but at 15 to 1. This is number 6, Miss Susan B.
I like that horse a lot.
In the 5th.
Yeah.
But I mean, they paid a ton for it, and obviously it's traded hands a couple times, but I mean, Constitution, who's by Tappet, getting to try Synth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is necessarily a class break from open maidens at Horseshoe, but
did you see the work though? The synthetic work is 48 flat from the gate at Turfway. That's a pretty good work. Yeah, I'm using for sure. So talking about the
gate. I mean, what's the deal with that? So they did that, then they go to Oaklawn. I didn't notice this. I'm just seeing it now because you mentioned the work.
Yeah.
Went to Oaklawn and then to Indy, which, okay, that's maybe home base. I guess they thought maybe a race didn't go.
Yeah, that's possible. Why don't you put the video back so
sorry.
See.
Oops.
Yeah, so we're talking about the 6 horse in race 5, Miss Susan B. It ran in Indy in October, and then just looking at the workouts, it worked out at Indy, worked out in Turfway December, then in Oaklawn it worked out in December, and then January, and then it comes back to Turfway. Yeah, I mean, either that or they were, I don't know. I mean, off of that Turfway workout, you would think they would be thinking about synthetic. Maybe they, I don't know. Yeah, why would you go down to Oaklawn and not race? That's odd.
And I mean, that for a trainer, who knows where his string is? Let's see where.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe his string's down there. The other thing, I liked about this horse is I like playing the biases of like just kind of how tracks play. And so like this horse raced up at Indiana. He's trying to close from 7th, from 10th in sprints. That doesn't work at Indiana very well. His routes, he's trying to come from 5th. He did stalk a pace 4 wide from 3rd in Indiana. That doesn't work either. And so, to me, like it's like however you want to say it's like against the flow or whatever. So now if he gets to a situation, maybe he gets a little race set up or whatever. Yeah, I think that horse is really viable at 15-1.
And I have our answer. The horse actually was entered at Oaklawn, and it was one of those days they lost.
Oh, okay.
So race canceled.
Yeah.
So not even a scratch, but yeah, I mean, it's to, I wish the trainer had some signs of life here, but.
What kind of signs of life you're looking for?
I mean, his last 10 starters have all been beaten at least 10 lengths.
It's a little cold, a little chilly.
Yeah, a little chilly, but
he's due.
When you're 15, I mean, I always tell myself, like, the horses are going to be 2-1, and the reason the ones are going to be higher. So, and I like the Uno in the 5th race as well. Synthetic debut last out and just kind of track the pace at a big price, and with the inside being good, thought he was worth the look second off the layoff for a trainer that definitely doesn't win a lot of races, but when he does, the price is usually right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna try a super to my 13 here, using the 7-8 on top, and in second, obviously. I don't know if I'm gonna use this 9.
I can't use the 9. I mean, the
Yeah.
board's telling me the thing's going to whistle, but
Okay. I mean, the thing, my strategy is like if I'm playing a super with a 40 to 1 shot, I try not to get too choosy on,
oh well, that's
the
that's
other parts, the other pieces, right?
yes.
Because that will bite you in the butt, and at a dime, it just isn't very expensive to try to start spreading a little bit.
Yeah. The news, as it were.
Yeah. Exactly. The 6 at 25 to 1 isn't impossible either.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the inside horses to the chalk have a chance to do something.
Yeah. I didn't really care for this 12, but I can touch him one time.
Yeah. Didn't you give a thought to the 13?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A 13 is going to be my main play.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm with you. Okay.
But then it's like, okay, who do I use them with? And actually the 5, that was my other one, so I'm gonna use him too.
All right.
Almost ready.
Yeah, too much. Seeing what I wanted to do to get Yarmarie in there.
Who's she on?
The 1.
Yeah.
I just think kind of stick around and I mean not even suck up, just kind of. But
All right. Good luck, everybody.
yeah.
And that's a lot of horses going to the lead there. It's like everybody that the 12, 7, and okay, 13's dropping off. Yeah, a lot of them just decided to send there. The 3, and I didn't want that 6 that close, but okay. A lot of prices up there going fast. Yeah, so 2's not anywhere near the lead. Neither is the 9, but all right, so maybe the 9's rating today. That's good. It's a lot better out on the lead fighting.
Nicely.
Yeah, nicely done.
Didn't have that one in the mix.
Yeah, that's a firster. Looks like he's got some horse too, but
yeah, 2-star. Yeah, no.
Some of these
I mean,
others
win or
still
lose here. That's at least a run you would say can be competitive somewhere.
Yeah. All right. So here comes the 7. There's the 2.
No, could do was absolutely dreadful.
Oh, whoa. Come on, let's not do this. Let's not get all funky. Who's coming? There's your 1, 7.
9.
Oh, the 9's coming. 7, 9, 6. Ooh. I might have that super.
Without the 13?
I use the 6 as my second horse. My second.
Oh, all right. Is it 7, 9, 6, 1?
I don't know. I kind of start goofing around with the 1, 7, 9, 6, 1. I would have that.
Yeah.
I had 7, 6, 9, 1 too. But the 6 was so the 6 was 25 to 1 when they were loading, so he got knocked down to 16. Otherwise, I would have been less interested in 16.
Props to, I mean, last chance Louis ended up a little shorter. I'm not going to hold it against Mike. It was a 12 horse field when all was said and done, and he had the top two dead on, and then no real mistakes anywhere else. So
you're talking about the morning line.
That's pretty good work there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that 7 came down quite a bit. And that's another closer, right?
Would you call that a closer? Mid-pack?
Well, I mean, he wasn't anywhere near the lead.
Yeah.
Because who was out? The 6 was out with somebody, and the 11 was tracking the 6 and the 3, and then it was a couple back to another pair, and I think the 7 was beyond that. So. All right.
Wonder what this pays for a dime.
I don't know, but I'm happier to hit it than not.
Yeah.
I mean, both the 1 and the 6 were more like 25 to 1 when they were loading. So,
right.
I don't know. Getting the 8 out of there helps, but probably would have been much better with the 6 and 2nd, obviously.
Would you have had 7, 6, 9, 1?
Yeah, it was cheap with only going 7, 8 on top. It was pretty cheap, so it was like I had a $10 ticket with those 2 horses. It was 6, 13 in 4th, and then $10 in 3rd, and then $10, just from dime. So right. It was only $30 to do all 3. I've been bit in the butt too many times where you bet these prices and they run 2nd, and then and those are the ones that really pay. So
right,
I'm trying to do better. And then when they win, I definitely don't have anything. I'm definitely definitely throwing out tickets and wanting to jump out the window. All right. Well, that's fairly chalky like we thought. And the 9, ran much better than both of us thought.
Yes.
Like I said, though, even mid-race, once he was off the pace, and give Cedillo credit, I think that was a nice job to pull him off the pace. And I think that's where you want to be, especially on that race where there were several just all gunning. All right. 355. I'll take that.
No, yeah. That's solid for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take much to blow up those supers, and especially
even as a lukewarm favorite, totally out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so like if you flip the 6 and 9, that maybe it's like closer to 600 for a dime.
Right.
So, all right. Well, and we should probably watch the replay when it comes up, but I think both of those races there was a decent amount of pace setting up for off the pace. Now we're getting into a shorter field here, and may change things quite a bit.
Yeah, and here's Gracie. 4 to 5 double odds, 1 to 2 pick 3 imputed. So.
Yeah, I didn't really get this horse. I don't know. It just seemed kind of faint-hearted. Yeah, so look, there's 7 drops off. Where's the 8? See, the 8's up in that melee like that.
Yeah, maybe.
That's not good.
I'd actually say the 11 ran one of the better races. May have been one of the ones taken out. Although the 6 was the only one around of these at the end too. So
No, it's a really good point.
credit
If
there.
you were doing a watch horse off this race, you'd want the 6 first and maybe the 11.
That Jockey that's a snug hold.
On the which one?
The 11. I mean, now he rains out a little.
Yeah, I mean, for a first timer going a route, that's a really nice race. Yeah, so like the 7's already moving, but he's what, 8 lengths off it when he starts his move. Yeah, and the 8 just I don't know, he was a little too close to the pace, and then he dropped back, and then he didn't re-rally.
And I was looking in the back for 7 and 8, so I'm gonna pay more attention here. I guess the 3 is the one who, yeah, right there. Okay.
Oh yeah. I was like,
Yeah, so really, I mean, yeah, the 6 got way the worst of it. The 11 was already done.
No, that's a good point. That costed 6 second probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a bob there. Yeah. Huh. So yeah, here's Gracie. I think it depends again in this race, like with the 2 and the 6 look like the speed. If the 6 goes, I think the 2 becomes a bad bet as a low favorite. If it gets a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I mean aren't they all bad bets when they get a lot of pressure?
Yeah, but I'm kind of looking at that as the main scenario, and the track's playing against. So I was 168 here. 16 kind of the main choices, but also the 8, and then I did a pick 4 and I just used the 2 as a saver, but I'm kind of betting against.
Definitely wasn't sure the 6 would be 9-2. I'm kind of surprised, and he's 14-1 now. But
oh wow,
I mean, based on the multis, he's 10 in those. So I would definitely say that's not too bad. Gets the bug allowance, which for whatever reason at Turfway seems to be all right. And Karen Whittick doesn't get a lot of opportunities, but decent percentage.
And then let's jump ahead to race 4. We haven't talked about that a whole lot. What did you think of the 5? What do you think, Mark?
I mean, to me, that's the horse I'm more concerned about, and not because he can't go gate to wire, but it just seems like a clean break and out in front, and that's it. Time form has him the ability to controls his own race, but it's Turfway, to use that cliche, but I don't say that pejoratively. It's a full field, and some trainer might be like, look, the only way we're going to win this race is to be aggressive.
Right.
So, I mean, that's always the sort of fly in the ointment, but, back to back, to me, it looks like a couple of favorites.
Wow, this horse was the 5th, the opener. It's off 64 days.
What do you think, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the condition. I mean, there's probably plenty of 12.5s, but
yeah.
I mean, it's a decent step up because that 12.5 was not only, or excuse me, the last race was not only 7,500, but non 3L. So, the condition to go with it, but
Yeah, I was in that race. I was trying to beat. I mean, I did wimp out and use it kind of as a B, but I was looking. I just thought if the 1 and the 6, like you talked about, like if you want to get aggressive, a horse going to the front. I thought they were still pretty close in speed to the 5, so enough that I kind of wanted to look elsewhere. So I was looking for 7, 10, 11 as closers, and then maybe just kind of covering with the 5, and maybe the 2 is a B as well. I kind of spread there a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say those are the ones I was nervous about. Maybe not so much the 10 because with the scratch of Midday Image, I figured Afternoon Heat would be kind of right there price wise. So in my case, using the 5, like Afternoon Heat, I'm not looking to hook them up, certainly not vertically. But yeah, Casanova Kitten, broken record with Jean-Marie. That's not why I like. It's a bonus, but I did think, kind of to your question in this race, but applies to Ravelli in the 4th as well. If, for whatever reason, I mean, the 6 certainly can go. There's a few in here that may just decide if we're going to win this, we have to be aggressive, and that doesn't work to the big chalk's advantage. I definitely could see Casanova Kitten being the one rolling at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, 20-1 morning line. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you like when you have, so there's a couple of prices we've talked about. So that's a 20-1 there. Race 5, we kind of went on and on about the 6 at 15-1. Do you like try to key on horses like that in a pick 3, or you just kind of wait for the double, or any kind of strategy?
Well, with the pick 4 having started the last race, and I like 1, 6, 7 in the 5th, all of which I expect will be prices. Certainly in the pick 4, I don't think any of them will be on anyone's radar. I basically played 7 and 8 in leg 1. We're 2 of the 3 have to win. So I got 1 out of the way, so I can get away with 1B in the next 2 races.
Okay.
But the thought was, similar, I guess, to your superfecta. It's like, okay, you're keying on a 40-1. The board's telling me this 9's a runner. Not gonna let that type of horse beat me with a 40-1. And I kind of feel similarly here. Like, I'm not too deep anyway in any of these races. So, in my mind, and I would have it multiple times if it chalks out to the last leg with the big prices. But yeah, that's how I played it. So not quite a key because I am 3 deep, but all 3 are prices. So my thought was, if 2 of the 3 favorites win, maybe I can really blow it up in the race I missed if I'm right. But even if the logicals win races 2, 3, and 4, the fact that I can be live to a $150 to a 10-1 morning line horse is worth it.
Yeah.
And all in, it was I think $84 to kind of stagger it that way. So not even a big outlay, and a chance to hit it multiple times. I mean, not a huge cold back. It's only $2, but
yeah,
the prices in a big field. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, if the 2 wins here, I'm definitely going to be cheering for Casanova Kitten. I mean, that's the type of, with the horse like Theft to close it out would be great.
Yeah. And I just played a simpler ticket. I spread more. The same thing started the pick 4 with a 7, 8. And then I took that 6 in the last leg and I just singled it on an extra time. So if it comes in, I just wanted to have that twice. But I mean, if you can get around the 2 here, there's a lot of prices to start up pick 3.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and if I had missed the first leg, I'd be running back a pick 3 here for sure. Because it's the fifth leg, the hopeful opinion on the fifth.
Mhm.
And I think it'll be a pretty tight board. I mean, it's one of those, it's not like I'm coming into it like, man, one of these 3 horses has to win and they'll all pay at least $20. I mean, I know I'm gambling, but I think I'm on the overlays at least.
Yeah, I mean, right. Where you're kind of getting to on race 5 there, I mean, to me, it seems like that board's going to be a little bit flat in the sense that it's hard to toss anything.
Right.
So maybe it's going to be, maybe there was one of them, but, everybody between 3 to 1 and 12 to 1 kind of thing, or several of them that are like 4, 5, and 6.
These pick through. I don't know if you saw them. The deuce was $29, and all the others were good payouts. So kind of wish I had done the same scheme in leg 1. So I'm kind of talking about with the pick 4 because
right.
I had the 2, which is similar to the thought I have in race 5. Horse I like, that's a price. But I could have seen just kind of keying on that with the 7, 8 in race 2, and then be live to a few in here. But alas, I didn't.
Alas, yeah. Yeah, I should have used your 2 in the first leg. All right. Well, couple more. Don Johnson says, "What are your picks?" Is that to us or to everybody? It's probably to everybody, but
well, I figured we'd answer it at least.
Yeah. No, here I was 1, 6, and 8, so I'm trying to get around the 2, and then maybe using the 2 as a saver.
Yeah, I like the price on the 6. I'm gonna wait before I say I'll take a flyer to win. I mean, it wouldn't be a prime bet, and not a horse I identified as like an opportunity. In part because the line was 9 to 2, and now it's 14 to 1, hasn't budged from that. But I definitely think I'll play around with 2, 6 type stuff in the verticals.
Yeah, and I think this one is kind of interesting. Wheels back in 8 days, and it ran on Safecracker Sue. That I think it would rain. That was one of those days where it was just pouring rain on January 30th, and as I recall, nothing could really close from that far back, and I think it was just too far back and just kind of spinning wheels. And I remember seeing that horse and thinking, like, kind of surprised it didn't do more. Maybe give it another shot. I do have that down as a day. 10 races, no close. None of the top late pace horses won that day, that night. So
none.
If you take the best closer, best late pace horse in each race, so 10 horses, none of them won.
No.
Which isn't necessarily a huge bias because that's only 10 horses bet on Turfway. Most days I'm looking at, most nights, at least one closer got up, if not multiple.
And it looks like our bet share is live.
Yeah, it should be. Did you post the link?
No, I'm about to though.
Okay, awesome.
So we have a bet share. Link's gonna go in the chat from me. That's for the late pick 5, so it starts in race 6. And you want to hop in, definitely have some shots. It's a caveman play. I'm pretty comfortable that given the carryover and pool size, and I think in the 10 furlong race in particular, I stretched a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those, like, you're playing to hit a $5,000-$10,000 ticket. So hopefully we'll get lucky and played it on my own too. So I'm fully vested, but happy to share a bet share as well, and that link's in there. So yeah,
there it is on screen. $135.
You got it on screen.
44 shares left. at $2.70 a piece. So only
Oh, so
$2.70.
a few have sold without even posting it. Must have been Candace.
Well, Candace emailed it out. So
Oh, sure. Okay.
yeah. So that's going out from email, and yeah, let's get the excitement rolling for the big carryover and see what happens.
Yeah, you worked out there, so you probably experienced this a bunch. I was fortunate enough. I was there back when there were more than just the symposium. There was, I think it was a simulcast conference. Something was it's at Palm Springs in California.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I always get those mixed up. But anyway, went out there a couple days early. Santa Anita. It was a Grade 1 race back when Thoroughbred Times was flush. And so the Friday I was there, so before the Grade 1 day on Saturday, but Friday, there was a double carryover, and the place was electric.
Yeah.
Like, and this was, I think, 2004. So, you know, a while ago in some respects, not so long ago in others, but it's just unfortunate. Like that vibe is pretty much gone.
Yeah.
You know, and you get it among friends and group chat and things like that. And, you know, people love the carryover. I love the carryover. And whether it's a Monday at Mahoning or Friday night at Turfway, I like chasing the big payout. But I mean, to experience it on track, you know, literally thousands of people, and they're all in tune, and they know that this is the first leg of the pick six. It was something.
That's cool. Yep. Now you got to get to one of the big tracks, the big meets for that.
Yeah, and I mean, even then, you know, I mean, I've been at Keeneland. You know, they've had a few pick five carryovers here or there. It's just doesn't have that. That $2 pick six was a unique phenomena.
Yeah, I mean, there's right. So many people have so many different things going, and yeah. It was, yeah. I'm sure the pool size. I mean, back then, you know, when you had a double carryover, right? You not only was a $1 million pool, but the prospect of maybe winning $1 million because it was a $2 ticket and it's tough to hit. But you couldn't kind of have that kind of action betting on sports or other things. So it was a unique opportunity.
Yeah, checked a lot of boxes that have other options now, for better or worse.
Yeah. All right. So who are you going with here then?
We need to pull that screen back up too. I guess I'm going to stand pat. I mean, my pick four is 2 with a bunch with 167, or a bunch with 5 with 167.
Mm-hmm.
The 6 is still 14-1. I guess I got.
Wow.
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna key the 6 with the 2. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna mess around with the 168 and a little pick 3 action.
I mean, a little classic, like, what am I missing? I never would have thought the 6 would be the longest price on the board.
Yeah. For sure.
It's a little concerning, but whatever.
A little too chilly for you?
I don't know, but I know you're not on X period, but not sure if he's elsewhere. But that Dennis Montoro, I think he's in his mid-30s, but you know, got into racing. I think similar to Keith, data guy.
Mm-hmm.
COVID just kind of got the bug and realized, you know, with the right data and processing it, can maybe have an edge. And he's done well for himself, and he's talked with me because I do the fair odds stuff, and you know, always talking about that. And he's like, you know, the fair odds are great and it's a good barometer, whatever, but the board is so sharp. Like sometimes you have to acknowledge that they know more than you, and if it's telling you you're wrong, believe it.
Yeah.
Now,
that's
I
fair.
sort of think that applies more to a horse you thought was going to be 3-2 is 5-2. That's a really bad sign.
Yeah.
I'm less interested in applying it to a horse that I thought would be 5-1 that's 13 when there's a 6-5 favorite.
Right.
So,
all right. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, I guess we should have reminded people that we're on a delay.
We're on a delay.
One thing not on a delay is late money at the bell, and the two ended up at 2-5.
But look at the hold on the one. I mean, the two's got a hold too, but I mean, they're both sitting on a nice hold. But look at that one. I mean, that head bowed and oh, they're crawling 25 and change.
Ooh.
So maybe
that's a situation if I were the one, which I mean, with the two behind you, you might be thinking, man, I'm going quick, but 25 and 3, I mean.
So the 6 didn't go at all, which means may have a little bit more in store coming off the pace. 51 almost there. This is interesting.
I mean, this is a case. I mean, he's 2-5, but like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Maybe the way the track was playing, but I mean, look at this. Now the 8's in the race. So yeah, I mean, does
maybe
the 2
I'll,
have a
maybe
ton?
I'll get a root for the water's getting
Yes,
deep.
he's home. The one's not done, but now they're all done. Okay. All right. Well, the 2 looks good there.
Well,
I guess
it was a long shot underneath. It's
Yeah.
not the one I bet.
Oh, that's Machado. He's he doesn't like to go to the lead too much, does he? He just kind of sat off.
I mean, that was kind of what I thought could happen with the 6 is just kind of watch it unfold and then stick around.
Yeah.
But yeah, 4 ran well.
Yeah, I don't know why the 6 didn't get out at all. And kind of conversely, you know, the bug Oscar Villarreal sent the 1, which, you know, I mean, with nobody else going from the inside, yeah, that made sense. I was looking at this race completely different. I thought it was going to be 2-6, and then the 1 could sit off them. Maybe do what the 4 did. But 2-5, there you go.
That's, yeah. God bless you. Is that just when CRWs attack? Like
Yeah.
Because it's hard to think that their fare on that horse would have been, I mean, even 1-2 seems a stretch.
Well, I mean, our HRN AI line
That's what I was just looking at.
The horse would go off at even money, but our suggested line for fair bets was 3-5. So,
yeah,
you know,
all right.
Yeah. So the computers were on it. I guess because of the class drop, that's a pretty big class drop.
Yes. Now we got Ravelli next.
Right. More chalk. All right. And let's see what we got on the bet share. All right, we still got shares in your bet share. And I mean, you should say you've hit a couple pick 5s this meet, right? You hit one when we did the webcast a couple weeks ago. Nice.
My best one coming tonight.
I've had a tough time. I backed off the pick 5s right away because it's like when you're getting 4 or 5 and you're just missing, it's like it'll keep you coming back. But when you're getting like 1 of 5, then it's like, okay, wait a second. So I've been trying to back off to a little bit more of the pick 3s and the doubles. So, and this is the interesting part of the meet too, where like, it's not 12 horses to race every race like it is in the beginning in December. And so now it's a little bit more mixed. There's more form on the horses too. So in theory, less crazy prices, although there's a couple pretty crazy prices last night causing the carryover.
Yeah, well, I've always, it's easier to identify with mares, especially ones that can breed. I know, some trainers / owner breeders, they like to try to get a win or minimal black type opportunity, but and anything you can do to enhance the page and bring them back to Kentucky to have December and January before you start thinking about breeding the mares. But even with the males, it seems like December's that last grasp. We start to see, not every race has 14 entered like at the beginning of the meet, but the synthetic helps randomize things. And I do think the class drops can be pretty powerful at Turfway. Not that they aren't anywhere, but it seems like once like, okay, this horse is capable of this on synthetic, and then they drop, like that form to me holds up more than the main track, like especially where you got guys like 8th in a maiden claim or 30, and then they take a bunch of money just because they're dropping to 15. I mean, if they didn't show any fight last time, the drop isn't going to suddenly spark that.
Right. Yeah, you want to find some run, you want to find some glimmers of hope, not.
And I just think on dirt, for whatever reason, at other tracks, like that drop in class isn't seen as a negative. It's dropping in class. Whereas it, for whatever reason at Turfway, if you tank at a certain level where maybe they thought you'd have something, I mean, maybe it's because they're chalking it up to, we didn't like synthetic, and they just say, well, we'll point to, Indy or Belterra or Keeneland, depending on the level. Whereas, okay, they ran okay. Then the drop, they can handle synthetic and they stick to it. So, I don't know, it's kind of anecdotal, but something I've noticed.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have stats on class drops at Turfway on Friday night?
Well, I don't know about the Friday Alive specifically, but I'm definitely going to Monday or Tuesday, I'm gonna look at this.
Yeah,
because we have some great tools at HRN for data.
We do. We have a lot of great data and a lot of great tools for it. A lot of free tools on the website.
Yeah, because of the social stuff, and I'm always very willing to share and love questions and such. But yeah, I would say among the most common is related to how to can you find out how this post does or pace, that type of stuff. And I love sharing the track trends tool because it's free and it actually has some decent filters. So like what we show and is easy to digest. This is great. It's a good snapshot. Like you can look at this and immediately know, okay, inside slightly preferred, but nothing is terrible. Maybe outside closer, I guess, with 3%, but that's pretty niche with the sample size. But if you go to, and I will put the link in the chat, our track trends tool, you can adjust the date yourself. You can, specify the exact distance instead of just generic route or route or sprint. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can play around with it. You can change the turf rail settings, anything like that you can do, which is pretty cool.
Is there a Turfway live stream tonight?
That's what I hear.
Call it Friday Alive for nothing.
Yeah.
I went to school with the Bertoni. High school.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think there's any relation, but distant, I guess. There's a pick 4 this race.
Oh, the middle pick 4. I always
Yeah.
forget about it.
Yeah,
All right.
it's usually I shouldn't say usually. I think always the smallest of the 3 pools, but
Yeah.
it's we'll check out.
The bet share, we were down to 33 shares left, so we're starting to sell out. Yeah, just looking ahead, I thought race 6 was really tough. Just kind of hard to separate much in there.
Race 6. I thought race 6 was easier than race 5. So I have 2 schools of thought here. Easier in that these are the contenders, but not as attractive because even though, I mean, you're saying tough, so that kind of tells me maybe I'm going in the wrong direction. But like I'm more excited about race 5, even though to me there's more uncertainty because the horses I'm excited to bet are going to be prices.
Right.
Versus race 6, I kind of ended up with the logicals.
The 8.
Yeah, I went 2-8.
Okay. Yeah, I thought the 1 was a little interesting.
Yeah, that was a cut to use the first or in the last. Full transparency. So hopefully it doesn't haunt.
Fair enough. We'll allow it.
I mean, we all got to be honest with each other, right?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I kind of focused a little bit more on the early, so I need to still take a look at the later. But
buckle down.
Buckle down.
Remember Buckle Down Ben?
Yeah, I do. Triple Crown horse, right?
Yeah. Preakness at the very least.
Was it about Beverly Lewis?
I thought he was one of those Maryland horses.
Yeah, maybe that sounds right too. You're not looking it up, are you?
I'm absolutely looking.
I didn't see that coming at all.
Can you guess which website had the first entry?
Probably Horse Racing Nation.
That's right. I was wrong. You ran into Belmont.
Okay. Well, it's Triple Crown.
Yes. Yeah, second in the Holy Bull, so that's kind of Steve Clasaris.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a Mid-Atlantic guy. I was right about that. Didn't run in the Mid-Atlantic, but
talking about free stuff, we should talk about the promo. So we have our Sire Moves report for tonight. That's free. There should be a link in the YouTube. And we also got a deal for 50% off of a month of our pros membership with the code Turfway25. So that's pretty cool. And lots of great stuff in the pro reports. Ed and I use those every day. And yeah, and then don't forget to like the video and subscribe. So anytime we do live video that you can get a notification.
Yeah, we shame on us for forgetting to suggest the liking and subscribing, but never too late to do that. So would appreciate any support as we see the target moon over Turfway's paddock.
The target moon. Excellent. Target. I still haven't been to the new Turfway. I got to go check it out.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Yeah. Slacking.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been this year. It scratches the itch when I have an opportunity to go. But yeah, I haven't seen a live race since, was I a 2-year-old day at Churchill? I think Clark Day, Black Friday. So looking forward to being at Fairgrounds next week.
Oh, right. I got to see Barnes' debut at Churchill. That was
there you go. Well, yeah, we were there, but we were both there that day, weren't we?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You might have had something.
Oh, no, I was there for the Anna parade.
The Anna. Oh, right.
Torpedo Anna.
Right.
Not Barnes. Yeah, I didn't make it
Yeah.
for Barnes.
Yeah, that was like a weekday event. That was wild. Baffert was there. Baffert's back at Churchill, and
Oh yeah.
all the media in Louisville was there. It was a lot going on.
No, that's I mean, Bob, definitely everyone has an opinion on him, but from a no such thing as bad publicity standpoint, uh, it'd be hard pressed to find anyone not hoping he has a horse in the Derby. Whether you want him to win or not is probably a different question, but
I'd say he'll have a horse in the Derby, all right.
yeah, no, it looks good. But I drafted 2 Bobs in our fantasy draft.
Yeah, who'd you get?
The Ron draft. I got Chancellor McPatrick in the first round, and then I took Citizen Bull, Rodriguez, and then Owen Almighty with the 4th pick. So
Okay. Where was your draft pick?
I picked 6th
Out of 8 teams?
8, yeah. So I had the 6th and 11th picks.
Okay, and then we've got a fantasy draft coming up next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we gotta brush up, and that's our Triple Crown fantasy draft where we won 2 years ago with
thanks to you with Mage.
Thanks, and National Treasure, and
although we had the Jockey too, right? Which
Mage.
That may have been my suggestion. So
yeah, you had Johnny V, and we had Mage, we had National Treasure.
Javier.
Well, and we had Arcangelo, right? No, we had the Jockey.
But we had Javier, so we got half the points for Arcangelo.
Yeah, that's what
that was the benefit.
Mage was great. And then last year we stunk up the joint.
It's tough. I have to say, this year in particular, I mean, in this draft, which again, 8 teams, Dr. Derby, Caitlin, Sarah, I mean, people that know what's going on. Certainly, it was definitely some differences in style, which, made it fun. Definitely, I could tell people were targeting a certain type.
Right.
But I will say, like, I didn't mind a later pick. Sometimes when we do that Gates League, like if you pick 10th, you have no shot at a horse who's making noise on the trail. Like you're already totally gambling. And this year, I had the 2 picks in the top 11, and I got Chancellor McPatrick, who we still need to see as a 3-year-old, and the champion who's already won a race this year. So
he looked pretty good.
There's some good depth. I mean, I don't know if any of them are superstars, but it's an exciting group.
Yeah, it should be good. It'd be interesting to see how these preps play out. And what are your thoughts on the Sam F. Davis?
Well, it ignited some chatter online because both Paddock Prince, David Levitch, and Scott Shapiro could not believe my fair odds on a couple of these. I didn't save this because Candace posted it directly. Let me pull it from.
You can do a share screen.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Anyway, but I mean, I do like Owen Almighty. It's just one of those, like, he's kind of the horse a lot of people know. Mm-hmm. So what does that make for his price? But the Jerry Bennett horse who got put up by DQ, I mean, I do think Owen Almighty ran the better race.
Yeah.
But all right, I got this here.
Yeah, Naughty Rascal. I had that horse. He was a 5-star first time out. And
place. There it is. All right. Let's see. Can I zoom in on this?
No. Yeah, there you go. Zoom in. Nice. All right.
All right.
So what were the complaints? Which odds?
They could not Camp Hale at 65-1.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, very dismissive. I mean, and the numbers just aren't there. I mean, 3-year-olds do develop and get better and jump up. that one just didn't strike me. Darren Zocali said he likes Very Bold, which you might see the 21-1, and granted he might be a little shorter than that, but I do think he's usable, and depending on how long a price he is, but Union Rags is not a synthetic sire at all. So I totally am willing to draw a line through that race 2 back. But Union Rags is a distance sire, and he stretches out off the Pasco. So, Very Bold to me, might be the long shot key. But Poster, undefeated Remsen winner, his numbers aren't that great. John Hancock's debut was solid, but being ridden by Pratt, trained by Brad Cox, I think he's going to be a big underlay. So I do think there's opportunity in this race. And I mean, it's basically a matter of just running that Pasco back. 6-8 for me, and then even the 10, who was third that day, placed second.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, Owen O'Bliney got a big number, and Irad comes back, and now he's second off a layoff, and he came off the pace a little bit in the Iroquois. Churchill running second Jonathan's Way, so yeah, I mean he looks kind of tough, but
and I don't, if anyone listening, watching knows anything about Smoking Boy beyond what's in the past performances, I mean, I'll admit that's a total punt on the fair odds. I mean, typically the Puerto Rican horses just aren't fast enough, but he is a grade 1 winner in Puerto Rico. Who knows what that means here? I mean, that could
he likes the mud.
Likes the mud. I mean, that was the other thing. Like, okay, is that his best because he's only been in mud, or will he? I mean, the breeding I think is okay. So yeah, that's a punt. I didn't want to be disrespectful and say 50-1 because I honestly think he has a better than 2% chance, so that wouldn't have even been accurate. But I mean, let's say I'm lying to 12-1. If he's 15, which technically would be an overlay based on my fair odds, I'm not going to bet him.
But
there's no confidence there. But
what if it's muddy?
Beam said yesterday that the forecast looks great, so I took the approach it won't be.
His mutter was a mutter?
His mutter was a mutter.
I'm joking because that's the old Seinfeld thing, but
oh yeah.
Do they always rate the track as muddy? Because he's run at Puerto Rico 3 times and it says muddy every time.
It does. I mean, it is the tropics.
Yeah, or maybe that's the fall season. Interesting. Well, I need to verify this, but what if I told you he was working with Howard Wolowitz?
Would, I guess, depend on where he was working with Howard Wolowitz. Even terms?
Yeah, let me find out. Let's see if I can. It's a pretty important detail. Yeah, I'm trying to think for a second. Maybe not even terms.
5 minutes post time in 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah, Ravelli a little chilly on the board now, but kind of maybe a similar pattern. I mean, imputed pick 3 odds or 3 to 5. That's with the second choice in chalk, though, so that's maybe a little lighter than the pool would suggest. But even money in the double, currently 8 to 5. So
you're thinking coming down, crashing down?
Would definitely think coming down.
Yeah, our AI says 4 to 5 on the line and fair odds 3 to 5.
Right. But so yeah, I mean 7, 9, 11. I think are all usable. I'm nervous of the 10, but is the clear second choice here at 7 to 2. Just kind of thinking that's a pass for me.
So Smoking Boy worked with Hop Sing, which is a pretty decent horse. There's an XBTV video. They work together.
That's a Seinfeld reference too, isn't it?
Like the Chinese place or something.
It's the Chinese place
Yeah.
where she gets banned.
She gets banned.
I won't mimic the what the courier says because it's not my culture, but
yeah. And then she tries to order
gets it out of the
somebody
janitor's
else.
closet.
Yeah, Seinfeld was great. I know I asked this. Have you ever seen the Michael Richards commercials for Fairmount Park?
Well, you mentioned it, and I
Yeah.
went back and found them. Yeah,
You found them?
crazy. Yeah, I
I've
thought we
never been
watched
able
them
to find
together.
them. What's that?
I thought we watched them together.
No, I never. It must have been something else I showed you. I've never been able to find them.
I'll dig. I thought I saw them.
If anybody knows how to find them, so being from Chicago, early days of simulcasting. This is going back to late '90s. So Fairmount Park was simulcast in Chicago. So on the replay shows or whatever. But literally, Kramer did a spot for them, and it's great. Like this guy's looking through the binoculars and they're screaming for the race. He basically steals the binoculars from the other dude and starts looking through the binoculars, and he's choking the guy because the binoculars are still on the other dude's neck. And they're screaming and screaming, and they're like, get your race on, go to Fairmount Park.
Was this his UHF days?
I don't know. It was, I want to say really late 90s.
Oh, so post Seinfeld.
Yeah, right around the time. It might have
Okay.
even still been in the last year or two. Like it was
Pre-N-word, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there was one, I think he had the racing form, and then he had a cigar, and then he caught it on fire. And,
Wow. So they really came out of pocket.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Like I think he might have been a friend of somebody's and did a favor or what.
Right.
Know.
Are you familiar with the Sklar brothers?
No.
They're identical twins. They do comedy and done some acting and such, but they grew up in that area, and they've talked about going with their dad to Fairmount.
It's a cool place. We've talked about it. I've been there on a Friday night. Or Saturday night.
Player hooky and
yeah,
and they've made do. So heading to the gate again. We're on a little bit of a delay, so for those who like to bet the bell, be aware they're going to the gate, and always have time for a food question, especially from good man Mr. Broadus. It's a good podcast with Derby Will and that crew. Best wings in Lexington for me is Shamrocks. They have a location off Richmond Road, and back in the day had one in Heartland. I don't know if that's still open, but the Richmond one is still there, and really solid wings, really good.
So is this board? It seems kind of flat in the sense that Casanova Kitten, the 11 is only 11-1. The 9 is only 10-1. I thought it might. I guess that's the morning line.
Yeah, I mean, last race we saw even money to 2-5 in the last jump. So, like that sort of thing. Like, okay, is the 11 like the imputed? I'd say going to be 20-1. So
right, yeah, maybe he goes up, a little bit here. All right, I'm gonna, in case the 5 runs out, I'm gonna play a super to the 2, 3, and 11.
Wow, with the 5 running out.
Oh, not on top, because when the favorites win, like a 3-2 winning will just decimate the price.
Right.
Maybe what I should do is
I'm gonna try to get the 11 in there.
Yeah. And the threes, I mean, it's a big price on the 3. I didn't think he was impossible. He ran a nice second at Turfway last year.
All right. Yeah.
And they're off.
I'll take a 5-11-9.
Okay. And
Well,
he's gonna clear pretty.
I've emerged.
Pretty comfortably clearing in that 3 to 5. Bang at the bell, huh? Somebody dropped the hammer.
Guess so. Not as although 3 to 2 to 3 to 5 is probably a bigger move than even money to 2 to 5.
That's what I'm saying. That's a big move.
Yeah.
22-2 though. That is fast on this track. The way it's been playing.
Sprint though, right?
It's a sprint, yeah.
Yeah,
and
he's kind of running away from him.
Yeah, he's running away from him right now. Well, your 11's coming.
I was going to say I don't hate the 11 spot here.
Yeah.
Kind of flattened too.
Yeah. Nothing. Oh. Don't tell me he's going to stop.
He's stopping, but
Not enough.
Ravelli juice. All that was chalk over second choice.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I thought the 11 was getting jiggity for.
Yeah, look good for a second there. My 3 ran 4th there at 39-1, but I did not use the 4. I threw the 4 out. Tossed the 4 there. Oh, the 4 second. Okay.
Oh wow!
It did look like on live. It did look like the 10 held on.
Yeah. For sure. But yeah, definitely watching the replay back. Yeah, and the 11 ended up nowhere. Jose knows what's up.
Yeah, I think the calls got the 5 pretty good. Yeah, I mean when they think they're on a winner, I mean they're just willing to push that price so far down. Yeah, there it looks like the 10 got second. Well, that's okay. So that camera angle's after the wire.
Yeah,
yeah. All right, I don't feel as bad now. Yeah,
Marco's getting involved in the carry.
Cool.
I like it.
Good. Well,
Makes me want to.
I guess our chalky pick 4s are alive.
Yep. Yeah, I got 167 for a deuce.
All right. With the 6 for a buck.
Let's see what the doubles are saying. Oh yeah, 6 is a bomb. Oh, that's the favorite in the doubles.
The 6?
The 7.
Oh, the firster?
The firster.
That's wild. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the 1 and 6 that'd be all right.
We'll take that one. Well, all right. So we've gone heavy chalk 2 in a row.
Heavy. Still 5 shares left.
All right. So we've gone 7-1, 7-2, and then the parade of the 2 to 5, 3 to 5.
I haven't posted from HRN yet, so I guess that'll maybe do the trick.
5 shares left. Is that what you said?
5 tickets,
Right.
yeah. Or five shares.
$2.70 a piece. There you go.
Who says no?
Yeah.
And the best part is if it flames out in the first leg, we'll be done. I don't even have to face the music.
We'll be off the air.
Yeah.
That's what the comments are.
6.
Should know that.
Mhm.
Active comment section.
Yeah, some good chatter. Gizmo Hardy, 4-man really well. And I adopted this from Huddy, Dave Hudson,
Mm-hmm.
New York, or I guess he's in Pennsylvania now. Horse owner, runs a bunch of pools. I don't know where he got it from, but he calls the Exacta the Gizmo.
Oh.
So I enjoy calling the Exacta the Gizmo as well.
All right.
Yeah. Or the Giz.
Is that good then? Assuming like if you hit it.
Yeah. Oh, I hit the Giz.
All right.
You know, racing has its own vernacular.
Right. Definitely.
So do you see this and say, dang, I should have had the super, or like, whatever, 3 to 5-1?
Yeah, it's I know I was wrong last time we were talking about this. There were 2 prices in there, but 3 to 5 on top. I just can't see this paying much of anything. Although, well, I'll tell you about, I mean, the 4 was a decent price going in the gate, wasn't it? Or am I missing that? Did it drop?
I think it actually may have been one of the few that dropped along with the winner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was probably a 15 to 1. So yeah, maybe it's not nothing, but it's a little tough with the top 2 coming in first and third.
All right, Stormcat's got a live ticket. And the 4 was the 4th choice in the doubles, so that might not be too bad. Can you cover me for a moment?
Yeah. We'll wait for prices to come up here for the 4th, and we'll see some. Hopefully, get some good will pays with pick 4s and pick 5s with those 2 chalks, though. That's gonna hurt it quite a bit. But this 5th race is really, really interesting and really wide open. So Ed was saying that probable doubles with the 5 there. Yeah, the 7. So the 5 to the first timer and the next, the 7, the double's only $9 for $1. So that's pretty smashed. Although the 2 is right behind it at $9.30, and the 4 is $11. So they're all pretty low. The 2, 4, and 7 in the next. And there's officials, so I should get prices here in a second. Wow. All right. 80 cents on, $80 on the 10-cent Supra. That's not bad at all. No, I wish I would have covered that 4 in a second. Pick 3 is not that great. Double is not that great. $3. And yeah, it's like you almost need 2 prices. The trifecta doesn't pay much with 1 price, but that Super is 800 to 1. So if you like the 4 or 3 at all, that's a really nice payoff under a big favorite like that. So, all right, let's look at the will pays here. I'll pull those up and see if I can get them on my screen here. There we go. So there's the doubles. Talking about the 9 being favored there, and the 2 and the 4 close behind. Pick threes, yeah, not too much. Pick fours, I think Ed was talking about the 1 and the 6. Wow, look at the difference on the pick 4 on the 6 compared to the others. So, like, completely ignored, and that's interesting. And all the pick 5s are, pretty much really small, other than the 6. I mean, I guess 1,080 on the 9's not terrible by any means, but big difference there. So, there you're back. Did you see that? So
yeah, let's go 6.
Yeah, the pick 4 to the 6 is fantastic. Interesting how that horse is completely ignored compared to the 1 or some of these others that are prices.
Yeah, that's incredible to me.
Yeah. Well, let's get the 6. How about that? Then we'll have some money for the pick 5 carryover.
I'm sure would. I mean, that's just that's unbelievable.
Well, I think I think a lot of times, when people are playing these races is like they're spreading out order, like in an ordinal rank, so it's like, if you look here, just look at the doubles, the 2, 3, and 4 and 7 are all pretty popular. So then there's a drop off. And if you're going to, most people, if you're going to add after those, then you're going to go to the 1 or the 9. So now you're getting to the 5th and 6th choice. And so, you're getting down to the last choice in a wide open race.
Right.
And, you could make the argument got touched a little in the double. But I mean, if you look at the pick 3s, it's even less, and the pick 4, that's crazy. Yeah, it's just significantly less.
I'll take it.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I just don't think the horse is impossible.
No. Let's see if I got him. Oh, I got him here. Here, I'll pull them up. Well, I mean, it just seems like it's a wide open race. The fact that they're on that favorite could be steam, but it could be also just, people don't know what to do in a wide open race.
Right.
Let me switch here. I don't know if we're going to be able to see these, but there's the brisk PPs. And I mean, I don't know who we would compare to. I guess the 5's pretty long.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to give me a head-to-head between the 5 and 6, I'd take the 6 or the max.
Yeah. So just okay. So let's just say look at the 4 here, right? Just if you go off the brisk numbers, last race is 74. That race was on synthetic. I know that this 4 has run a couple better races. Not saying he doesn't. He definitely does look better, but this is a 3-1, and he ran a 74 last. And we go down to the 6 here, and he's run a 72 and a 71, and yeah, you don't know if this horse is going to handle synthetic, but look at this workout, 48 flat breezing at Turfway. It's got some other good works, and so I think maybe it's a coin flip, but I think there's definitely a chance this horse takes the synthetic and maybe improves a little bit. Also has been off since October. Now, obviously, you got to take the risk that a no-name trainer has his horse ready, but there's some pretty good works mixed in there,
right?
Along with the 39s breezing. So it seems like a lot of positives for 33-1. So, and like I was saying, is
plus a not terrible sheet.
Yeah, I mean, and what I like, I was saying is so these Indiana races, these the 2-turn races at Indiana, even from the beginning, closing from 6, that does not work at all on the dirt at Indiana. Try to stalk the pace in the slop. That doesn't really work. Pretty far over his head at Churchill in his third start at 27-1. Then he's back trying to close in Indiana. And a lot of times too, those routes, there's not the biggest fields. There's not that big of a pace. And, like this type of closing move, 7th by 6 to 3rd, running through most of the field, or 10th by 6 to 2nd by 3. Those are sprints at Indiana, but like that type of running style on a track like today, where we've seen, we saw a couple closers in the first 2, and then we saw the huge favorites. But that kind of closing move is going to play a lot better, in my opinion, on a Turfway sprint than a Indiana sprint. So, all right, stop sharing. You want to pull up the video, or what do we want to look at?
I have something to share.
All right, even better.
Sharing is caring.
So they say. Unless you're giving us losers, that's not,
Man.
that doesn't help.
There we go. All right. Or not. Aha. Yeah, so this is the Sire Analytics. Didn't show up on Sire Moves, so I'm guessing Miss Susan B is comparable. Dirt sprint, since I think that was last time.
Well, you can flip it.
Flip it?
If you want, you can change it to dirt, even though it's not a dirt race, to see that.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
But
yeah,
the point is synthetic debut, and certainly nothing to discourage use here.
Just about tops in the field, along with the 3 and the 8.
Yeah, and the 3 was a positive Sire move, which not a surprise. McLean's Music preferring the sprint to the route.
Yeah.
So no, this was another factor. At the price, obviously have it covered to win with the pick 4, but definitely gonna look at, what can happen if second or third to still maybe have a score.
Yeah, so that's a good point. We should talk about that. So we're both live to the 6. It's paying great. How do you approach something like this? You got 30-1. You cover it in second in the exacta and third in the try.
Yeah, I think that's it. I would say if I had a stronger thought on top, or like another key horse, I'd use second and third in the try. But basically looking at this, and I have the 1 and 7 in the pick 4 too. Unfortunately, they're nowhere near what the 6 is.
Right.
So it's not like I'm not going to use either of those. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking, and I guess I don't need the 2 at 3-1. I do like the 3 a little bit. It was 4-1. The 5 seems impossible. 5 and 9 seem impossible to me.
Right.
I'm sorry. The 5 seems impossible. The 2 and 4, I think, are underlays. I would use the 9 at 25-1. So
9 doesn't do much.
Unfortunately, I'm using 5 horses over the 6, but it's 30-1. So
yeah. The 9 didn't do much for me.
No.
Our AI line on the 9 says it should be 99-1.
Oh, all right.
But
should be as in that's the fair, or that was the projected?
That's the projected is 99. It says the fair is 62-1, which I don't trust the fair quite as much in that sense. Once it starts to dislike, it just it doesn't.
No,
really
of course, yeah,
matter. But yeah. What was your thought on the 1? Just
let me
figures
pull up
fit.
PPs. So the one had a positive predictive form liked. So it was the 15-1 line. That was something like,
Mm-hmm.
but there was something else that sort of caught my attention. Oh, 10-1 line. Yeah, so the Turfway race, Ragas and Wise was a step forward, and that basically moves from the far outside post, which again isn't terrible. It's not like, oh, it was from the 12, he had no shot. But I mean, the inside is better, and kind of felt like he ran fine last time. I mean,
you get the 1%, the 4% Jockey.
Yeah.
But the 4% Jockey stays aboard. So you got the 1
he knows
for
him
24
well.
Jockey with the 1 for 9 trainer.
And the one win for the Jockey was with this trainer.
All right. Well, there you go. So they're hot. Wow, look at that ROI.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
1 for 8 together with a giant ROI. I'm looking at Briss. I don't know if that's the
okay. Yeah, no, we're looking at the same thing. But I mean, in pace rating wise, I mean, this horse is definitely capable of being in the mix early. I mean, we've seen that necessarily not be ideal, but from the rail doesn't need to, consider trip. Now you're kind of trusting a 5% Jockey to have to make a move if behind horses from the rail, but at 20-1, you're getting compensated for all the things that need to break your way.
Yeah.
And another thought, I guess, too, is theft 2-1. Caitlin picked, and I bring that up. I mean, she's capable, and most public handicappers would take notice of who they're picking. I am a big believer in handicapping the handicappers. Not necessarily because I'm just going to use their picks all the time automatically, but there are certain barns I've noticed Caitlin does well at, and then firsters. I feel like I think when she's willing to pick, especially at 8-1, it's not, she's not picking off the form.
So there's some inside information. You
Whether
think there's
it's
a
her own
source.
inside information, which maybe not as much in play with a Turfway firster. So that would lead to barn or jockey chatter that she trusts. She's just not listening to everything. But yeah, she's one where it's like, okay, firster 8-1 morning line. There's been some extra work, but beyond what we see on paper.
Fair.
So I'm going to trust it. And when when Keith did his thing, looking at public handicappers, that's going back 2 years now. She was one of the ones that rated favorably. So the numbers back all this up as well.
And you said she also sometimes gets good information from the Walsh barn.
That's right. Yeah. If she has a Brendan on top, that may not be one you would think on paper is, I don't even want to say cinch, but yeah, she's.
Well, maybe picking the 7 is a pick against the 2.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I hadn't thought of it in that regard.
I mean, and we've been talking about it's such a wide open race.
Excuse me. My grandmother would say that's the truth.
I thought
first time Brendan too. So if there was chatter like, oh, we got this horse from Chad.
Yeah. I thought this 3 was really interesting, and I mean 7-2, but 5-2 morning line. I was a little surprised on the morning line. Like you said, McLean's Music going back to a sprint. That often is tough to wire. It was actually kind of stalking in the 2 path and the Turfway route, but in the Churchill sprint, sat fourth and kind of made a move, and it looks like a pretty good heat. $120,000 maiden special at Churchill. So I thought this 3 was interesting. I mean, I like him at 7-2.
Yeah, first time Brendan too. So if there was chatter like, oh, we got this horse from Chad.
So I thought this 3 was interesting. I mean, I like him at 7-2. I thought this 3 was interesting. I mean, I like him at 7-2.
Yeah, and the Sire moves Irving. There's plenty to like. Yeah, the only mount angle is sometimes something.
I'm looking at the runbacks from that Churchill maiden. They're not particularly impressive. We'll say that. Most of the figs went down for what it's worth. So that's cooling me off on that. So how about this? We're both talking about this 6. I think I might go and play some super keys and just key it in all 4 spots in the super. And but I'm gonna toss the 9 out, and I think the 5's a toss.
I do.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't.
That's your man, though, right? The trainer.
Yeah, I've owned shares of some horses with Ethan. I think Ethan West's a great trainer. Don't think he really focuses on getting horses like really cranked off a 1.5 year layoff. I don't know that that's really his cup of tea. But I mean, this horse has shown enough talent in the past, run against Tarifa and types like that, maybe it just has that much talent. I don't know. I guess it'd be kind of dumb to use it to throw it off the super, at least in like the bottom at that price.
Yeah.
Lots of consternation.
I mean, I just wish I had some other opinion to key the 6 with. But
well, place money. You got win money.
Yeah. If I were in a I guess in a contest, the best you could do is live to the double.
I think it's tough when you have a position like this and you like a horse, and it's like you don't want to get greedy, but obviously.
The other issue with place money is if he went. Well, yeah, I guess that's better than just keying in second in the exacta because you get the double dip, but.
I'm going to gamble that this is a wide open enough race that if he were to run second, it's going to blow up. It's not going to blow up the super in a 9-horse field, but it's going to have a nice little impact.
Yeah.
Plus, it's more fun. Have more fun with it. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of. Jay's on the 5. There's a vote for.
All right.
For the price.
I mean, the money's showing on the 7, so I mean, maybe that's just the real deal. But
right.
What's
Yeah, I mean the double money is by like. Although I mean.
So Josie Carroll only 0 for 1 at Turfway first timers, but 23% first timer and synthetic sprints, 18% overall. With good impact numbers, so basically meaning they don't usually get bet that much,
Which isn't a shock.
Yeah, what are these? What are the exactas paying? Did you check those out?
Yeah, which one do you want?
Like the 7-2.
7-2 is 12 to 1.
I'm sorry, 7-6 with our 6, $115.
7-6 is 109 to 1.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be better than fooling around with the supers too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you get like, I mean, they're all kind of flat. I mean, 8-6 is $170.
Yeah, I mean the range is. I mean, yeah, the 7, which these get corrected, but right now the 7-6 is 110, and the 5-6 is not even double that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I definitely like the 3 and 7. I think the most of the rest of these.
and they're going in quick. Reminder, you're likely seeing this on a delay.
All right. Good reminder.
They're off.
They're off.
They're off.
Here goes the 1, 2, 1, 2, 4.
1, 2, 4, 9.
Wow.
Stacked across.
Stacked and packed.
Not
We're in last on the
out,
6th.
though.
That's good.
Right. Yeah, in touch. Yeah, the duel for last right now is between the 6 and 7.
It's all right. Look at, he's got more time to get his run going. Gonna circle this field. 7's gonna get some nice run on the outside too.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, buddy. 3. Straight line would be nice.
He fan way out.
Yeah, I would take a 3-6 though. No, now it's flattened.
3, 4,
3,
7.
4.
Yeah. A win for Sire moves.
Yeah. Yeah, I should probably.
6 got that same trip as what horse were we talking about earlier? Like, kind of made a middle move and then.
Yeah, I mean, now the closers that have won, didn't they come up the rail?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I don't think that's really the move to try to circle the whole field there. Not that he would have won, but it's probably not the way to go. Would have maybe gotten in 3rd or 4th. Yeah, we should probably show. I'll show that the Sire moves report. I guess shouldn't show it. Should have showed it before the race, but
we mentioned it.
But you mentioned it several times.
I wanted to get the 6 in there, so
yeah,
that wasn't listed because it was.
I think I went too big there. There we go. And there you were talking about the 3 with McLean's music, synthetic routes only winning 11%, synthetic sprint 17%. So about 50% more winners. Oh, here you go. Yeah, so that's what this stat is: 54% increase in a win percentage going from a route to a sprint. The impact goes from -30 to +3, so there's a 33% improvement in impact as well, and it's highlighted there in bright green as a nice positive move. And so this is our Sire Moves report. It's pretty awesome, really helpful for Turfway, really helpful for horses trying turf for the first time, synthetic and back and forth. And if you go in the comments on YouTube, there should be a link where you can get it for free. There's a coupon code to get it for free for tonight, and there's also a coupon code for 50% off for a 1 month trial of Pro Reports, which has got a lot of great things in there that can help you. I mean, you need all these little edges all the little edges you can get, right?
Yeah, no, chip away at it. I mean, it doesn't always work out. Very rarely works out when you legitimately like a 30-1 as we did, but
yeah,
it works out once out of 25 times, you're going to be ahead. But yeah, I mean, this is the type of data, I'm not going to say nobody has, because obviously we have it, and other people that develop these kinds of tools for their wagering have it, but retail wise and just off the PPs, it's totally next level beyond that. And I think part of the benefit for me is not only in the moment of that race it helps, and maybe you identify and overlay, but just get your mind thinking about all the different things you could be thinking about race to race, and hopefully improves your game.
Yeah,
macro, not just micro.
No, for sure. I mean, it definitely helps. The thing too, like some of the other, every past performance provider has different positives and negatives, but a lot of people will say, oh, this horse likes turf, the sire likes turf, and that's a good example of McLean's Music, 17% in a synthetic sprint. I would say, yeah, I love synthetic sprints. 11% synthetic route, so fine, it's fine. But that's like night and day. And so to give that horse a synthetic number of 355 or whatever, I think is useless. I think I want to know the difference between those two, and it helps you throw out a lot of questionable horses out a lot of times.
Yeah, and with the impact, I would say general 15 to 15 is probably going to be pretty similar, even impact wise. But you might see 14% winners, and the impact is really negative, and then it's 60% winners and really positive. And to me, that's a move, because it's saying, okay, when it had 14, it was expected to win a lot more, and it didn't. And now it's in a spot where it actually is winning more, and people are undervaluing that for some reason. So it's definitely if not third dimensional look, at least second dimensional beyond just a data point.
There you go. And the bet share sold out, your pick 5 ticket. So
all right, know us early.
So even though it says Mark M, that's your ticket. So I want you to have all
ticket.
the credit either way.
The credit or the eggs. Well, eggs are expensive now, so confetti maybe.
What's that?
No one throws eggs anymore. They're too expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Confetti? No, that's okay. That's what you're saying. I was like, what? That's funny. Yeah, definitely not throwing eggs. Well, cool. Well, this has been fun, and we had a good run there with the pick 4 to the 6, even though it didn't come in tonight. Hope everybody keeps going. Thanks for watching, and pick some winners, and good luck on the carryover. Any last parting shots?
No. Use that deuce in the last.
All right. You got them in there on the bet share.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.